Morning, it's Tuesday the 6th of February 2018 and have a look out here. It's a lovely snowy day. Now the 6th of February is a very significant day because it's my birthday. And it's not just any birthday, it's my 50th birthday. Now the fact that it's snowing on the 6th of February is very significant because 50 years ago today it was snow in a blizzard up at Low Fellside. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that later. But I'm going to enjoy my birthday now. See yous! Okay, it's the 7th of February 2018 and as you can see we've come back up Colbeck and Low Fellside way. As usual, it's cold up here. And we've had snow over the last couple of days and a -8 frost last night. Freezing cold up here. What I want to do today is I want to take you back 50 years. Yeah, 50 years till the time when I was born. It's my 50th birthday yesterday, so this is why we're doing that. So 50 years ago, at the start of February, it was not dissimilar to this, but a lot more snow. There'd been blizzards and my mum was heavily pregnant. She had been told by the midwife that she needed to get herself nearer to a hospital. Remember, they lived up on Low Fellside there on the fell bottom in a remote farm with no telephone. So if the baby was going to come, they needed to be in a situation where they could get to the hospital a bit quicker. So in the early days of February, as the blizzard was raging, they came into the lowlands down beyond Colbeck there so they could get to the hospital quicker. Anyway, the baby eventually came, I eventually came on the 6th of February 1968. It was a period where I was in hospital with my mum and they were trying to get back to Low Fellside, and the difficulty was all the roads from here onwards were blocked by the drifting snow. The cars were kept down in the village because they couldn't get any further, and there was no route back to Low Fellside, certainly by road. So eventually it got to the point, I think it was 3 days after I was born, that brought back to Colbeck, got in my dad's van, with the family got in the van. They got as far as this point, and then from this point the roads were blocked with the blizzards, and from this point the van was pulled across where we're going to go shortly, across this old moor house track, you call it, old footpath, an old cart track, and the van was pulled by a tractor all the way to Low Fellside with me, my mum and my dad inside it. Yeah, and it was our uncle, Uncle Tommy, pulling it along with the tractor. So let's go across and we'll see where we went. Yeah. Okay, we're continuing towards Low Fellside and walking along the snow. Just want to see if you can hear that lovely crunching sound as we're walking along through the snow. Reminds me a lot of being at Low Fellside, that crunching sound of your foot compressing the snow down. Okay, we've come about half a mile along the moor house track now, and it must be at least another half a mile up to, in the distance there you can now see Low Fellside, and I don't know how evident it is, but we're looking up towards Low Fellside. So from here we drop down into the bottom of the valley and then it's a steep climb up to Low Fellside itself. So imagine 50 years ago, my dad's old van and my mum and me in the van being dragged by a tractor just to get us home. And it wasn't a warm home waiting for us, it'd be chilly. I understand that just to try and make it warm enough when we got home, I think the bed was brought down into the living room, and for I think till Easter they basically lived in the living room with the fire, the open fire, trying to keep warm enough to survive as such. Yeah. So this is the Moor House track, but all that's left of Moor House now is the pile of rocks at the bottom of the foot of that tree there. There's just a bit of a ruin, there's basically nothing left of it now. And beyond the Moor House as such, you can still see in the background there, Low Fellside. Looking very cold, very silent, very still. Just the way I remember it, really. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head back and we'll get my mum's version of events. That'll be interesting. Right, after a cold trip up to Low Fellside, we've come back in the warm down at Swaledale Watch, my mum and dad's house. So now we're going to get my mum's version of those events 50 years ago.
Well, 50 years ago, it's ironic that it should be white with snow outside, because that's what it was like 50 years ago. But we start this little story of Simon's birthday a few days before the 6th, because it started snowing, just a few flakes here and there, and then it got a little bit thicker, and then we decided we'd better bring the sheep in off the fells. So the sheep came in, and by this time it was a raging blizzard, and I never knew until there was a knock on the door, and it was the district nurse. Well, this district nurse was of the old school. And she says, right, she said, we'll have to be getting you a little bit nearer Carlisle. We don't want any of these here helicopter jobbies now, do we? See, the thing is, we didn't have a telephone. We lived along a very long track across the fell. And 9 times out of 10 when it snowed, we were blocked in for anything from a day till 6 weeks. Anyway, we went to stay with a friend near about 4 miles from Carlisle, and Simon's dad would milk the cows in the morning, come down and then go back again, milk the cows at night and then come back down again. Anyway, we did that for 3 days, and the 3rd day things started to happen through night. I tried to kid myself that it wasn't happening, but you know, when you're 19 and you're having a baby and it's blizzard outside, it can be a bit difficult. So we went to Carlisle. He was born, but in those days you didn't come home 2 minutes after you'd had the baby. We were in 8 days, but it was still a lot of snow. Every time the road had been dug out, it blew it in again. So it got to the day where we could come home, and I often think if they'd realised in the hospital how we were going to get home, they probably wouldn't have let us come out. But anyway, that's a long time ago now. But we had an old van at the time, and Arnold used to leave it in Colbeck and then travel on the tractor. So that's what we were going to have to do. But so anyway, we fetched our newborn baby home, and we had to come across the fields. So Arnold's brother pulled the van over with the tractor, and it was quite a journey, believe me. Anyway, there was this little bundle wrapped up in a big army blanket to try and keep him warm. And we lived on the fell, on a hill, and the land is literally steep. And so we got towed home with the tractor. Took about 2 feeding times to get home. And got into the house eventually, and it was absolutely freezing cold. Absolutely freezing cold. We only had a fire, no heating or anything like that. So we decided we'd bring the bed downstairs so that we could always have a fire on. And so brought the bed downstairs. As you know, this was February, and we never went back upstairs again till after Easter. We just stayed in this one room and tried to keep that one room warm. But the old nurse, bless her heart, she, as I say, she was of the old school, and she walked from Colbeck every single day for 10 days to see me after he was born. And she showed me how to make up a pram or a cot. And I've never forgot it for all 3 of the children. You put as much below the baby as you do above. So here she was showing me how to make a pram or a cot or a little bed up for a newborn baby or a little baby. And so, as I say, I'll always remember you put as much on the bottom. You don't want a baby lying on a plastic mattress with just one sheet between the baby and the mattress. And it's always been my policy whenever I've been looking after babies, grandchildren or our own 3, to always remember what the old nurse said. And she did speak a lot of sense, but I do admire her. She walked the 3 or 4 miles every day to come and see him till he was 10 days old.
Okay.
So we got nicely settled into this one room in the house, and things were going okay. And then one day, well, we had some friends who had walked over to see us. We were lucky, people had come to visit us to see this new baby. Anyway, some friends came over this one day, and I couldn't believe it. We had a fall of soot into the room where we made our little cosy nest. And in the corner, I'd left a heap of beautiful, brand new, clean white nappies, not the throwaway ones that you have nowadays, terry nappies. And these beautifully white nappies were absolutely covered in soot, and I just wanted to run away. But anyway, friend Evelyn, she said, "Come on, let's get this sorted. We'll have all these washed in no time." And anyway, we did, but there was just literally soot everywhere, and I thought it was the end of the world. But anyway, it all came out all right in the end. Okay.
Thanks for that, Mum. We'll put it all together now in a little film, and everybody can watch it.
Great. I was just thinking, it made us determined from that moment on, because of all the hassles with the nurse and having to leave the car in the village and one thing and another, it made us absolutely determined that we were going to have the telephone in. So 2 years later, we finally got the phone in. But maybe we still would have never had it not been because of a blizzard and the snow.
Hope you enjoyed our little adventure today. If you want to see more, remember to like, comment and subscribe. It's Fellside Boy. Bye.